Hello and welcome to this episode of the Corporate Escapists TV show and podcast. I am your host, Christine Innes. I am super excited to have the very beautiful Kerri-Ann joining us. Welcome, lovely.
Thank you so much, Christine.
Well, I'm really excited to have you here because, honestly, we have obviously so many people come on the show for so many diverse sort of backgrounds and stuff. And I was so intrigued when we connected last time. I thought, oh my God, I have to have you on the show, and share a little bit about what you do, but also your journey as well. But before I get carried away, I'm going to get you to introduce
Yeah.
yourself, and then we're going to have a beautiful conversation.
Great. Okay. Well, my name's Kerri-Ann and my business name is Carnelian. I'm a woman in her mid 50s, nearly mid 50s. I love dancing, but my business is I help people make building easy. So your new build wing woman. I help people build their new homes with either one of my builders or give advice on build contracts or build tenders.
Yeah. I love this because, look, I can remember when I built a house and it was not a fun process at all. But most of us all live such busy lives now. So to have somebody in their back pocket that is literally help guide them, I think it's like the best thing ever to do.
Yeah, actually, I did a handover last week, but clients couldn't be there. So I just dropped keys off this morning to some clients, and that's exactly what they said. They said they just do not have time. They're telling everyone, if you don't have time, bit stressed, yeah, talk to me about building a new home.
Yeah. How did you get to do what you do? Because I always love the story of, how things are all intertwined and that as well.
Yeah, well, I suppose I grew up, my parents always had businesses. So I always had that in my mind that I would have my own business. I had my kids in like early 20s, sort of followed my husband around a bit. He was in the banking industry. So we sort of moved around a bit with that. And I sort of got to 40 and my kids obviously were, teenagers. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? I was working in a job that I absolutely hated. And so it's actually my sister and I got together first of all and said, she was looking for something as well. Real estate was always in my background, building was my background, and we came up with the business idea. My sister took the property management side, so we sort of split the businesses, and she actually sold the property management side probably about 3 years ago now. So yeah, so that's where it started, just being a 40-year-old mum wanting to do something more with my life. So that's how it came about.
I can completely understand. It was interesting. I just wrote in my book that I'm launching later this year, like literally the identity crisis that you sort of go through when your kids grow up as well, because it's, I mean, especially like when my son had a baby, I was like, oh, well, like what's my role now? Like it changes so much. And I don't think we talk about this, as we reach an age and our kids are starting to grow up and they're so less dependent on us as well.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I made the speech that I made at my daughter's wedding recently was, when your kids are little, the main character on the stage. You're their whole world. And they get to teenage years and you sort of move to the back of the stage. And then they get to their 20s and they meet their partner and you're on the wings of the stage. And yeah, and then it comes to be that, you're on the wings, you'll come in when they need you, but basically you're on the fringe. You're not the main actor anymore. So yeah, so this is yeah, that's just how life is. It's very sad, but that's how life is.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Have you found that obviously with, we're talking about like identity, obviously, like being a mom, and I always say like you go to mom, and then now my son messages is like, hey, like I don't even get hi mom, it's like hey, like sort of thing. But then obviously as you start a business, your identity even shifts even more because you have to, I guess, learn even more about yourself because you've been in that role of either working in corporate or, being a mom, like all that sort of stuff. But the whole identity of being a business owner is so much more in depth than what anybody could ever describe.
Yeah, exactly. And you're on 24/7. Especially with me, we built our home to have our offices at home. So, I work from home, literally, walk downstairs, there's my office. I feel that with, yeah, being business owner, you're always on. You're always 24/7 looking at, what can you do next? How can I get myself out there? So it's never I know that there's a lot of talk now about burnout, and I can recognize that. But I think as being a business owner, yeah, you're just always on. It's not like the 9 to 5 where you clock off at 9. Clock in on at 9, clock off at 5. You are always on. So that was definitely the difference that I found when I was 40 and went into business. It was just like carnelian. My business is part of my DNA. That's who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you find that, obviously with having this business, like I've treated it like a baby, like it's like
Yeah.
you really nourish it and you grow along with it as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And when I look at see my own old marketing from when I first started to how it is now, it's completely different. But yeah, definitely, you've got to nurture it. You're going to have good and bad days, as with a baby, and you're not sleeping at night. So yeah, it is a roller coaster being in business.
Yeah. What have been some of the moments that if you could give yourself a pep talk to, looking back when you first start, what were some of those moments? Because I think a lot of people we see just the finished product. Like we forget about the journey that's gotten us to where we are.
Yeah, well, definitely starting off, first of all, was a hard slog. I mean, we advertised on domain and realestate.com, and actually, I don't do that anymore now because they just get lost. So that was, you had so many overheads too when you're starting up. So it took a while to sort of that to take off and to get as many clients as we did. And then we had COVID, and then one of my builders went broke. So that was in the end of 2021, was just awful, 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 awful. So having to pick myself up from the floor because I get paid by the builders. So I don't charge my clients. All I charge my clients is an admin fee, and then I'm paid by the builders. So that particular builder owed me over $50,000 in commission. So when that was completely wiped out in a day, when they went bankrupt, it was just I was basically felt like I was back to square one, and there was all these awful things being said about me on Facebook groups and all that sort of stuff. It wasn't my fault. I had no idea that this is what was happening in the builder. But obviously, as we know, COVID times, a lot of that happened with builders. So trying to pick myself up from the floor with that was another thing. So as I said, roller coaster. Starting, it was slow, and then it went fantastic. And then COVID hit, and it went back down again, and now it's on the rise up again.
Yeah. What would you say has been one of the biggest lessons that you have learnt in your business journey?
Make sure that you have at least 6 months expenses behind you. With what happened with me with that builder, I had a very healthy bank account balance. And then obviously not only that builder, but the whole confidence in building just completely fell through the floor. No one wanted to build as well at the end of 21. So the money dried up. And so I didn't have that backing behind me, that 6 months there, which would have been actually in hindsight, it should have been 12 months of expenses there sitting in the bank account. So that's one of the big lessons, I would say. Cash flow is king. And when that gets taken away, if you can't pay expenses, then you're in big trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about if you look back at your own personal journey as well? Because I always say going into business is like your biggest personal development journey that you will ever have as well. Like, what would you say are some of the things that you've probably recognized about yourself?
I think I've recognized more in the last few years, especially with getting the orange suit, because I've sort of been doing more with personal branding as well, is to get myself out there, get myself out networking, talking to people. I think in the early days, I wasn't getting myself out there as much. I was just, concentrating on, getting the numbers, like getting clients. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is you've just got to get yourself out there, show up every day, even though you may want to hide under the covers every morning. You think, oh my God, I've got to go out again into this big
Yeah.
bad world. It's not a bad world. But yeah, I think it was just getting yourself out there. And obviously, I have this orange suit that's become, sort of its own personality, this orange suit. Wherever I go now, everyone, like I've had people say to me, oh, I just look for the lady in the orange. So it's just basically getting yourself out there, presenting yourself to the world, and doing that every single day.
Oh, I love that. I think like the power of personal branding and the power of you showing up, like even just show up. Like it doesn't have to actually be so filtered as well. A lot of people think, oh, I've got to show up with, my makeup done and all that. Like I now show up without it. I'm just like, and
Yeah,
that's actually when I get the most traction on my videos
yeah,
with it as well. So I absolutely love that. So,
yeah.
what advice would you give to people who are listening to this right now, that are thinking about, purchasing a home, like building a home? Like, why would they want to come and work with you? What are the benefits?
Well, the benefits are, especially if you're looking at a home, if building a new home, you get exactly the plan that you want. You get your own color scheme. You're not going to have, the avocado green kitchen with the pink tiles, although pink is a bit popular at the moment, but that baby pink tiles in the bathroom and the crappy wallpaper. You get exactly what you want. And having me on your side, I'm there all the way through from beginning to end. So I'm there every step of the way because a lot of people just don't understand, certain progress payments or the certain stages of building. Oh, another thing, as I mentioned before, I give advice on build contracts. If someone's not going with me, then I give advice on that. It's just amazing what people just think if they go to a display builder that's exactly what they're getting. The majority of the time they're not. They're getting this huge discount, but a lot of essential items for the plans to be approved are not included in that price. So you're getting this big discount out here, but during the build you're going to be paid extra, you're going to be paying extra. So I think just having someone like me on your side to just point things out, whether it's with one of my builders or giving advice, it's just a huge advantage when you're building a new home.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the lingo is so different. Like, I mean, you have to talk a different language sometimes, and, understanding builders and, I mean, like legal contracts just themselves. It's a minefield because it's how you interpret it, but it's actually how the contract is written, not how you interpret it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's things that, are council requirements like BASIX. Like a lot of people don't know what BASIX is, BASIX, or bushfire requirements or contours of your land. They just have no idea that this all affects your price, your build price when you go to build on your land.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who are sitting there right now and thinking about starting their own business, what advice would you give them?
I would say go for it. I mean, if there's no plan B, if it's like I am one of those people that actually crushes my soul when I work for someone else. That's why I had to get out at 40. I cannot work for anyone else. So if it's just your dream, your goal, you have to go for it. But you need to have, like I said, 6 to 12 months of expenses behind you in your bank account, so that it just makes it as stress-free as you can be. So you're not up late at night or eating all the chocolate in the house every day, which is what I have been known to do. So yeah, I would say definitely go for it. Have a business plan. I still have my Excel spreadsheet, which I consult every week. I know your numbers. And as I said, cash flow is king. So make sure that you have the expenses in your bank account. Go for it. Have a good business plan and get out there and don't be afraid to be on video. Get out there, put as many videos as you can out there across the socials.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think what you're doing is amazing. I think it is so needed. I honestly wish when I was building my house many moons ago, I had somebody like you because we ran into a lot of problems. So, it would have been amazing. So, thank you so much for coming and
Yeah.
sharing your gifts. Before you go, we like to ask our guests just some random questions just to, get to know you, just a little bit of personal sort of stuff. So, if you are ready, we're going to dive into them.
Oh.
So, if you had some spare time, would you prefer to watch a movie or curl up with a book?
It depends on what sort of movie. I do love my books. I just ordered some more books on Amazon actually last night. So I do love a book. Yes, book.
All right. And you love that? Do you love a physical book or the Kindles?
Physical book has to be a physical book.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Don't like a
Yes.
Kindle. I
That
need to sell that one.
same. Yeah, it's that tangible. Yes, I
Yeah.
totally get it. I know. I finally did my first audiobook the other day. I know it was a struggle. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get it. Now if you could go to your dream destination, first of all, where would it be? And would you prefer to travel by plane or boat?
Definitely by plane. The next big place where we want to go is England, Ireland, Scotland. So I'd probably say Scotland because I absolutely love Outlander, the TV series and the books. So I will be there, but you'll find me sitting in a castle because I just want to sit in a castle.
Absolutely. Oh my God, yes, so much. And if you could have a dinner party and you're allowed to invite one special guest, now that guest could either be from the present or from the past, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. I think Michelle Obama, actually. I would love
Ooh.
to just chat to her.
Yes,
She is amazing. Yeah.
yes, yes. I'm so sorry. The dogs are going crazy. I do
Oh,
apologize. The wonderful things about working from home, so you got to love
yes.
it. The other thing is that I would love to know if you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
Oh my God. Yeah, what would I describe myself? A, a dancer? No, that's too dancer. I'm a dancer. Dance to life.
I
Dancer.
love it.
And music's on,
I
I'm
love it.
dancing.
Oh my
Dancer.
God, yes.
Dancer.
Yeah. Yeah, because music actually really
Yeah.
changes the vibe, doesn't it? Like it changes where you
Yes.
can be in the moment as well. So, oh, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it so much. Well, Kerri-Ann, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your gifts. We're going to pop all the details how people can reach out to you. And anyone who is looking at building a house, I'd highly recommend that you work with either Kerri-Ann or someone like that because honestly, it will save you so much grief in the process as well. So, thank you so much for being here, beautiful.
Thanks so much for having me on, Christine. Thanks. Great chat.
Thank you. And for all of those listening to this episode, I hope you have loved today. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button, put your comments below, and remember to live life to the fullest every single day. Love and light to you all.